Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Gavin Kerr, and I'm here this morning accompanied by the one and only Brett. How you doing, Brett?
I'm doing well today. Made it through the weekend. Actually, it was a really good weekend, and glad to be here on the show and kind of filling in, I think, for Brandon, who's had one heck of a weekend that I think we'll be able to talk a little bit about, but probably won't really know what happened until we get him on the show tomorrow.
Yes, he should be popping. He might be popping in. We're not sure, but he's definitely had an amazing weekend. He was sending me some texts over the weekend on some of the people that he was meeting, some of the people that he was hanging out with. He celebrated his birthday while he was out there, so definitely an exciting weekend for him. How was your weekend? What all did you do?
Well, I ended up, the biggest thing was going to my nephew's birthday party. He went from being a tweenager to a teenager, so from 12 to 13. And
Nice.
for him, that was a big deal, being able to finally get to be the official teenager. And it was good. Got a chance to, I'm not exactly basketball pro, but got a chance to shoot around with my nephew in his backyard, and it was a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you get an opportunity to influence a child's life, and that was a good thing.
That's awesome. That's great. Let's see who we got. We got Sherry. Sherry's already asked some questions. I unfortunately did not. I actually ended up being pretty busy all this weekend, and I did not get around to watching the core live stream. What did I do all weekend though? Because I was busy. I was doing stuff. I spent most of the weekend pretty much with Crystal doing stuff. Let's see. Yesterday I did get my new guitar finally. I got in. Yeah, I was very, very excited about that. It's been probably a month or a month and a half since I've been messing around with the insurance company, going back and forth with them about it. So I was finally able to get a guitar. I was originally going to get a 12 string, and I got there and I started playing. They only had two available, and the way that I can describe it, you remember the movie Avatar with the blue people?
Oh man, for sure. One of my favorites.
To me, that's like how it is with a guitar. Like you gotta like find your dragon. You gotta like it has to choose you, and you have to choose it.
Right.
And I just wasn't feeling either of those 12 strings. I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted one. But I ended up finding a guitar that was pretty much the exact same model as my previous one, just like the next better version.
Okay.
So it felt very, very comfortable in my hands and to play. Just a nicer quality wood. The strings are the same because I buy my own specific brand of strings, but everything, it had a warmer sound to it. So I'm very, very happy about what I ended up getting. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yeah. Jessica Dugas, Mandy Atterbury, Sherry McQueen. Thank you all for being here this morning. But so I did that, and then I forgot that everything is closed on Sundays. Because I just never go everywhere is usually open on Sundays. But yesterday I had to go to both the bank and to the post office to get checks and stamps. I have a bill that I need to pay, and I can't pay it online, and I can't pay it over the phone. And so I have to actually, for the first time in my life, go and get stamps and checks to send it in the mail.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
So
the deal with that? That they're not going, they're not advanced enough to go live
I
on.
have no idea what the hell the issue is. It must be apparently, but and I was going to just go there and just pay it in cash, but I looked at the address and it's a PO box.
Ah,
So there's nobody even there for me to like bitch at and be like, hey, why can't I just call you?
those are the challenges when people just set up with a PO box or something like that. You can't even send a FedEx or anything else to them either.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's irritating, but I guess I'll learn the useful skill of using
You're gonna
spam.
learn. You're gonna learn the stuff that my generation did and thought it was advanced. Hey, we can send a check in the mail instead of having to actually go someplace and pay it in person. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I did learn how to do this stuff in like the first and second grade is when I learned how to like write letters and properly stamp and address letters and how to write checks and everything. Like I remember being in I think third grade math and learning how to properly write a check. And in my mind I actually paid a lot of attention like this is going to be so important one day. No. No, it's not. Never use checks. Yeah.
Yeah, well, my checkbook lasts a lot longer these days than it did, just 5 years ago, where I had to pay most everything with a check. So, um, I see somebody in the background there that
I
looks
see
quite
him
interesting.
too. Are we bringing him on?
I think we can.
Yeah, he's
Otherwise, I don't think
smiling.
he'd be there. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Brandon Croucher.
Yay.
Oh my God, that's a lot of chest hair. I can't tell where your chest hair
That's my face
begins
hair.
and your beard ends. Okay, now I can tell. Well, the angle that you were at, because you have that patch right there, the angle that you
Yeah,
were at, it looked like it was all one.
that's what I was going for. I wanted to look like Austin Powers.
One that can
Today, I
run,
think it's
baby.
more like Austin No Powers.
Right. So I just wanted to come on. I look like death. I sound
You
like death.
sound like that.
Mm.
Yeah. We went to my good friend took me to classic donut place. You know what? I'm gonna get up for a second. Take you guys on a tour. I'm a
Yeah,
guy. I could
turn
give
your
you
camera sideways.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Kevin. I'm glad you're here. I'm not awake yet. Oh, hold on. I got it. And there. It should work now.
I
There
feel
we
like
go.
we all like snuck into his apartment right now and we'll come up like, come on, we gotta go.
So my family sent my friend and I on a tour to go find donuts because I love donuts. Like I think I should have been a cop in another life. And she took me to this like all crazy natural donut place, and they make everything from scratch, and it's huge. They had a line out the door. She threw the box away, so I can't show you the box. And like we got 13 donuts. Well, there's only 6 left, and we put them in Tupperware containers. And I gotta tell you, they had so many donuts. It was the greatest birthday dinner I've ever eaten. I have so many things to tell everybody. My team and I are going to be catching up this week. I fly home in just a little bit. Man, I don't even know where to start. It literally, it's been a week, and my whole life has just changed drastically. I'm already receiving text messages from people that I met there saying they're so excited to work with us and be doing things. There's a couple movie stars. I wonder if I did this, would it look better? Oh yeah, that looks much better.
Who are some of the people that you met?
Viola Davis.
Wow.
Hold on, give me a second. I'll grab my paper.
Did you meet the man?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Did you meet the big man? The dog?
Who, God?
No,
Oh,
no, Snoop Dogg.
God does.
Snoop.
Snoop
I did
Diggity
not
Dog.
get to meet him, but I did get to smoke
Snoop
his weed.
D-O double G.
He wasn't home, and I got to go to the building he lives in. And by the time I got there, it was already gone. And I got to smoke his weed. I'm invited back out, and yeah. All right, hold on. I'll
All
read
right.
you a couple.
I feel like that's
All
the next best thing.
For anybody who watches Spider-Man, that's seen Spider-Man, you remember the green villain, William Fitcher?
Wait, which Spider-Man?
William
And which green villain? The Green Goblin?
or Wilhelm Dafoe?
I gotta look on the laptop so I can see it.
Which one is he?
He wasn't
played
in
the bad
Spider-Man.
Was? He played the villain in one of them. Because I told him I loved him in it, and if he didn't, then he's really good at making me seem like he did.
Yeah, he might have just been really good. Who do you think he played?
I don't know. I'm not awake.
Because I'm pretty positive that he was not in Spider-Man, any of them.
Kesha.
Which is
Have you guys ever heard of
saying a
Kesha?
lot, because, huh?
Have you seen Kesha?
Yeah, I
Kesha.
know who Kesha is.
Yeah, her assistant has my personal cell phone number now to order CBD for her mom. Andra Day. Yep, there we go. I like it. Brett's nodding his head. Hold on, that was day one. This is yesterday. Have you guys ever heard of John Carroll Lynch from the Chicago Trial 7? Or last night up for the Oscars, did you guys see? Has anybody heard of the movie? As I'm looking for his name, Angela Bassett. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Yes. She's awesome.
She got it. Keith David, the kid in Shameless, the little African American kid in Shameless, Christian Isaiah. That
That's
kid's
awesome.
parents. They're actually going to be in Cleveland next week. His parents for the NFL draft. His dad and I traded cell phone numbers to get a drink while he's in town. We're going to talk about doing a commercial together, and stuff for Delight with there.
Awesome.
Yeah, Brandon, I think he made you feel real good about him not being. I don't think he was in the.
Even if he wasn't, I knew
he's been in some really great movies though, so it's not like he's.
No,
he probably gets that often though, so that's why he just shrugged it off. He's like, "Oh, thanks," and then inside he just dies a little bit
he
more.
was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Oh, didn't he play Shredder?
He played. Well, it says Eric Sachs was the role he played in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, he's the kid that was like, what?
In 2014.
He did see, maybe that's why he was so nice. He caught my tattoo, and we talked about that. And he really did enjoy the tattoo.
I mean, that's even funnier than that you have them tattooed on you, and you screwed up which movie he's from.
Have you guys ever heard of Patricia Darbo? I didn't know who she was until she showed up, but she is. Gavin left us. He's like, I can't handle Brandon today. Hold on, I got my next sheet here.
Yeah, I got her picture here.
Hey, Gavin or Brett, were you a fan of Entourage?
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, well
that doesn't work.
You'd know the guy from there, and that was his biggest role. Have you seen? So one of the movies that was up for an award yesterday that won a couple awards was The Sound of Metal.
Yes.
And Paul Raci, R-A-C-I, was up for the Best Supporting Actor. And it's a movie about deaf culture. And what was fun is he walked in and his wife had a mask on, and in ASL it had sign language saying "stay safe." And I read it right away, and I never spoke a word to him or his wife. I spoke the entire time in sign language, and had no idea who he was, no idea like what he was up for. I had the paper in front of me, but it was so busy I didn't get a chance to look. I just thought it was someone who was doing sign language, like that was deaf. And we ended up having like a 10-minute conversation. And then yesterday I got to watch him on the Oscars. Like, it was really cool.
That's pretty awesome. We got a question from Stovetop Yum Yum here. Did you have a chance to talk about our show?
I did. Yes, I did.
I figured you did.
Eugene Levy.
Is that the guy from American Pie?
Mm-hmm.
His son was the one with the pie.
Justin Turner, if you're a baseball fan. Magic Johnson, if you're a basketball fan. Viola Davis.
You did meet Magic Johnson.
Yes, no. We got to give him our product, but he was in a hurry. Viola Davis, if you're into the actors and actresses. Joshua Malina from Shameless. If anybody's a fan of Mixed Dish, Trinity Stokes, the youngest little girl on Mixed Dish. You missed like my flipping papers. Tori Kelly.
Yeah.
If I saw these people, I'd have better reactions. I'm god awful with names.
You're perfectly fine. A lot of these people, we were like reading their bios, and then when they got there, they didn't look like their bios, so you'd start talking. And they just were like Glenn Truman. I'm sure that you've heard of Glenn Truman. He's an African-American actor that's been around for a while and all that. What was really fun is I had 5 different drag queens. I knew you'd love that, from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes.
Season 3's winner was on here. I'm looking for one guy that I know Gavin would have been really impressed with, but I'm trying to find him quickly, and I'm not seeing him. Justin Bieber's personal trainer came, and we traded cell phone numbers because he's never seen a CBD product like mine, and was completely like, "We need to talk. I want to get you on my show." I said, "Why?" Because I'm fat, and then I ate like a dozen donuts yesterday.
You know what's funny, when you said that, I never thought about the fact that Justin Bieber and probably most, if not all, famous celebrities have personal trainers. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, he's in nice shape, huh? But in my mind, like, he's always like, in my mind, he's still a little kid. Like, he's still like YouTube famous. I don't know sometimes.
I guess. I mean, he's one of these celebrities that's changed. Like, he changed genres recently. He's Christian now and all that. But at the end of it all, it's still pretty amazing. Like, I got to meet a lot, and you guys will see pictures. We'll be doing more. Of course, I talked to them about our show. I woke up just to come say hi to you guys. It is 7 a.m. here. I went to bed around like 4, and
now you know how I feel when I got to be on the show.
I do, and I feel bad for you to a point.
You do know when you have to be on the show, and that goes to both of you.
What's that?
I said you both did know what time you had to be on the show today.
We're not going to talk to someone about being what time they're supposed to be at the show.
Hey, I'm here. I was on time today.
We'll just pull. That's a first.
I had 5 minutes to spare.
5 minutes to spare. Gavin's like, I had time to make a coffee.
Nope.
Nope.
I had time to boot up my computer and send myself the link.
I love it. No, it's been a whirlwind of a week. I am excited to show everybody everything. If you see the birthday tag that I'm tagged in of the birthday party, I don't even know where to describe it. They took me out to eat, and I ate at a 2-star Michelin restaurant that is one of the hottest restaurants in LA. The chef literally didn't cook anything on the menu for us. I see I'm hiding behind my logo. The chef didn't cook anything off the menu for us. He literally made things from his personal stuff. They do not have a dessert menu, and he made me a cake. So the cake you see in there being done, that's got like fireworks in it and all that, like shooting out, that was made from him from scratch at the restaurant, and they poured caramel all over the top of it. And then I ate 6 more donuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like today.
Sugar rush.
Yeah, diabetes, #38. But it's been nothing but amazing. How is everybody? For real, I miss everybody. I'm very excited to be back. I'm very excited to be coming back. My flight leaves. I'm supposed to be up in 30 minutes to get ready to get my car and all that. So I just woke up and like I thought I'd be able to do today's show, but I'm running very low on energy.
That's all right. We understand.
How is everybody
definitely.
though? How are you guys doing? How's everybody over there? How are the fans? Did you guys do hellos already? Did I miss that?
We did hellos, but we got a new one here. Tokyo Bento.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
We got Tokyo Bento here. We got Sherry McQueen, Stovetop Yum Yum, Mandy Atterbury, Jessica Dugas over on the Breakthrough Show.
I love it, guys. I love it. I will be back tomorrow. We'll start releasing pictures and more. Oof. Guys, it's been a wonderful week, and I look forward to catching up and building something special with everybody. Please don't hesitate to share, love, and appreciate. We're here to spread positivity, joy, and excitement, and I'm very glad that every single one of you have tuned in. I'm honored that you guys are a part of it, and yay.
Go take a shower, man. Wake up, eat some breakfast.
I love you all. Thank you so much.
Love you too, brother. We'll talk to you later.
All right, travel safe.
Thanks, guys. Love you all. Bye.
Love you. Bye. I went to click them off, and I got myself.
Well, looks like Brandon had a heck of a week.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like you said, he was texting me some of the stuff that was going on, and it just sounded like some phenomenal opportunities. And we're gonna have to see what really comes of a lot of the connections that he made while he was out there. And hopefully, it's just going to be fantastic for the show and for our community. And there's no way that it can go, no way that it can be bad. That's for sure. And, I mean, there's just tons of good things that can come out of that. And I appreciate all the time and effort that he went into doing that, because it's not like he went out there just to play. He was working, he was awake, he was trying to do all kinds of things, and at the same time get an opportunity to catch up with one of his lifelong friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that just what he's doing right now is a perfect example of how like a regular everyday person can do crazy, amazing things just by having a goal and pursuing it.
Right. And when those opportunities come up, take them, as opposed to finding excuses why you might not be able to. Because, just him, trying to make the show work at the same time that he's trying to fly out there and spend all the time out there. Sometimes it takes that in order to be able to make those opportunities happen, as opposed to waiting for somebody to come along and give you that opportunity on a silver plate.
Yeah, absolutely. I know all weekend I've been on the grind with the DJ company that I work for, DJ Evan Entertainment. Right now I've been on the grind trying to find new places to have shows at, because right now it's still a very, very, very young and new company. It's like Evan is at the top, and then he has like 5 of us below him, and that is it. That's the whole company right now. And so I've been getting lists of all the local bars here in the Brook Park area. And then I'm going to be doing Avon next. and then all over Cleveland, and then just sort of like branching out, just going on Google, listing down all the bars, and then calling them on saying, "Hi, I'm Gavin with blah blah blah. We offer this service. Would you be interested?" And just getting a yes or no answer, so that way we can start going to these bars and talking to them all.
Cool. So really starting to expand again after kind of the change from the band and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. No, once like the band, like once I stopped that, I never slowed down. I immediately went into writing new music. I immediately went into new forms of entertainment. Like I need to be on stage. I need to have a microphone. I need to be talking to people and entertaining them. You know.
Right.
So I never once stopped, never slowed down. I actually picked up speed and became way more productive because nothing was really going on with me and the band. We weren't communicating. They weren't really telling me what was going on. And then next thing I knew, it was over, and I was like, okay. so I'm like, all right, cool. Well, now I can actually start getting things done, and that's exactly what I've been doing. My hope is to get so many bars and restaurants that want to have our service that it overwhelms my boss, Evan, to have to like start really getting more people, because eventually I'll be able to hire people under me.
Right.
And then like I'll be in a similar position that he is. And that's how he wants the company to grow. And he's going to be getting he's got all kinds of crazy stuff planned for this company, and I'm really excited because in my mind this is like a big investment, because I do think that kid be really successful because he's been in the game for years and years and years with other companies learning, and now he's doing his own. So that's how like investments work. That's, you find something that you believe in, and then you just kind of work really hard and stick it out, and you bust your ass and you pray to God a little bit that it ends up pulling through.
Well, that's, if you got passion behind it, even if it doesn't pull through, you're going to gain a ton from it. So,
absolutely.
We've got to venture out, and we've got to get into the unknown. You've got to be, either make yourself comfortable with it or push yourself beyond what your comfort zone is in order to be able to accomplish and achieve what you really can in life. And it's really about just believing in yourself and going after those things that you have passion for. If you don't have passion for it, anything that comes up is going to be a major roadblock. If you have passion behind it, no matter what comes up in front of you, you're going to work to try to find a way around it. So that's perfect.
I love that. What was the first thing that you were passionate about?
If I think back, and believe me, at my age, trying to think back to when I was a kid is really rough. But, I remember the time before the astronauts ever were on the moon. And I remember watching on TV when the first astronauts did get to the moon. And as a kid, that's kind of what I thought I wanted to be as an astronaut. So I actually wrote a letter to NASA, and I don't know, I was maybe 10 years old or whatever. And NASA responded and sent me these portraits of pictures of the astronauts at the time and stuff like that, and pictures of the lander, the moon lander, and things like that. So that's
amazing.
That was kind of the first thing that I can remember being kind of passionate about and thinking that was what I was going to become. And then it was going to be like, okay, I want to be a doctor. And I was like, I'm small. I got small hands. That would be really good for doing intricate work like cardiology or neuro surgeon. Yeah. So that was kind of the second one. And that's when I went to college, actually, to be, I was bio-pre-med for 2.5 years. And then I decided I didn't like blood and needles. So maybe that's not, even though it sounded like that was the thing I wanted to do, I decided, no, that wasn't it. And
you're okay with like cutting people open and planting their insides, but blood and needles is where you draw the line.
No. It was actually during some of those times that we had to dissect live frogs and stuff like that to see how their heart works, and you put them under. I mean, so that they're under anesthesia and things like that. And I was like, I don't know that this is really for me. So
I took biomed in high school for a few years, actually. That was a path that I was going down, and my school offered it through Polaris, so it was free, which was very nice because it was actual college classes. And I was doing that, and my teacher for the second year was telling us about how when he was going through everything, he had to live dissect a rat. They had to put it under with anesthesia, dissect it. I'm not sure what they were doing, but then they got to stitch it back up and let it be on its way. Well, I guess it woke up halfway through the anesthesia, and it freaked out because it's on a table all opened up, and it bit him, and he panicked and he smashed it just because it was like a reaction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he failed. But
Well,
he just kind of sat there and just like reminisced about this memory in the middle of class.
Yeah, that would be really horrific to have that happen. I mean, and we can go into a lot of different things, but sometimes the anesthesia that even people are under when they are under surgery, they may not be able to actively respond, but sometimes they are actually there, and they can feel the pain. So it's
yes. Have you ever looked into anesthesia and how it like actually works?
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Yeah. So like for those who don't know, it basically stops signals from like properly firing in your brain. So that way you go to sleep and your body doesn't respond to anything. We think for the most part, like we know that like you don't remember anything, but it's one of those philosophical questions. Like if a tree falls and no one's able to hear it, does it actually make a sound? Because if you don't remember anything that's going on with it, then, and we think that you're asleep and we think that you can't feel anything, but can you actually feel anything? Do you actually know?
Right. And it's on a lower scale, it's the same thing that, people are doing when they're doing Oxycontin and things like that.
Yeah.
And this is what people don't really understand, is that it deadens not just your brain or not put you under, but it slows down your heart. It slows down everything in your body, because these things are not that specific. And that's what really creates challenges. So yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole thing to look into, but yeah, I think we can change the subject and move on to something else here that's a little bit more exciting than talking about anesthesia and waking up in the middle of a surgery or something.
I don't know. That sounds pretty exciting to me. That'd be insane. I know they certain like brain surgeries, you have to be awake while they do it.
Well, actually, your brain doesn't feel that. Once you get through like the actual skin where you have nerves, once you get beyond that and into the cranium and into the brain, you don't feel anything. That's not got nerves that are sensitive to pain. So yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why you can do those types of surgeries where they can, activate different parts of the brain and see what your responses are. And they've, done a lot of different things in that, where you can touch a certain part of the brain and stimulate a particular taste or smell or things like that, and get the response back from the patient or from the subject.
See, in my mind, it's like it's always like Looney Tunes, where I imagine the patient there laying on the table, eyes wide open, their heads cut open, and the doctor like pokes something, and then X's go on their eyes and their tongue sticks out, and they're like, oh shit, wrong thing. And then they like poke it again and it turns them back on.
That's essentially what can happen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Having gone from, bio pre-med for 2.5 years, I gained a lot of understanding of like the physiology and the way that the body works and so forth. And it's been real helpful to me, especially over the past year, as we've been talking about COVID and so forth. And you really you're able to understand a little bit more than what they tell you on TV. And that's where things really start to come into play and are useful from the science perspective and understanding the body and what these doctors are trying to say, or what maybe they're saying that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So that's been fantastic for me. And the other thing is science has been really good in terms of my business background, because it teaches you a different way to think. And that was one of the reasons I think that I was very successful in business as well.
Absolutely. Do you think that because you said originally that you wanted to be an astronaut, is that part of the reason why you went to the Air Force? Were you like kind of going back to that dream?
No, see, the Air Force, first of all, I was thinking, okay, if I'm going to go to bio pre-med and go on to med school, I could go to the military and have them pay for my med school. Yeah. And when I changed majors from bio to econ, I was like still wanting to do something though for the country, to give back to the country. So I went into the Air Force, and I remember going into my management teacher and my econ teachers, and they were trying to talk me into going to Wall Street and things like that, and not go into the military. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go into the military to be able to give something back to the country. And it went from, not really understanding what the military was all about to then going into the Air Force. And I went in, the Air Force wanted me to fly. I didn't want to fly. But
why not?
Because to me, flying was never a real comfortable thing, especially back then. Now I'm much more used to it. But, it was like not feeling well where you're flying. And I flew in a twin engine jet side by side with the pilot, navigating and chasing clouds and stuff like that. And I never felt good. It was kind of like motion sickness kind of feeling. But I never puked. But I had friends of mine that really wanted, this is where that passion comes in. They really wanted to fly, and they did get sick. I mean, on the plane, and in the military, you wear, or in the Air Force, you wear gloves when you're flying. Well, that's what you throw up into. I know some really gruesome stories of guys that just really, really wanted to be in there. And, like they were told, if you throw up one more time, you're out of the flying training program. And there's some nasty stories in terms of what they did in order to be able to still make it through the program. That's passion. That's passion. And
I mean, you can't have a pilot who's always throwing up all the time,
Well, sometimes it ended up where they would throw up just before flying, just like a lot of football players will get so excited about the game that they actually puke before the game. That's kind of part of their ritual.
Yeah.
And that kind of was the same situation with some pilots at times, or like in my case, I was there for navigation, and luckily, I found a way to get out of being a navigator without getting kicked out of the Air Force. And that actually put me into logistics, which I had never heard of before. And logistics became a passion of mine for the next 35 years, or even today. I love logistics.
We got an amazing question from a new member. We've never seen you before. Arcturus Galaxian. Welcome to the show. Did you ever see any UFOs while you were in the Air Force flying around?
No, I did not.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No, I didn't. But I've always believed, that there's beings out there other than the humans, and that's always been from the time I was a kid. In fact, my dad, he's like, so my dad's side of the family is Jewish. My mom's side of the family is Protestant.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Catholic neighborhood, and I didn't really believe in any religion because I just watched this argument between different religions. Well, my dad used to say, you know, maybe what God is just like some student of a superior race being that's been around a lot longer. We're just his science project. And the kid started out with an A, and now he's down to a D or maybe a D minus. So, I think that that's as logical an answer as just about any, as far as, you know, who we are and what else is out and around there. But you know, I haven't seen any UFOs, but I absolutely believe them. And if you've just seen recently in the past 2 weeks, the Air Force released, not just the Air Force and the Navy released pictures of UFOs that were just recently seen within the past year or so.
All right, are they clear though, or are they like the Sasquatch old school X-Files pictures that are all blurry and everything?
They're actually pictures that were taken from multiple different aircraft and Navy. Of one is kind of a triangular type shape, and they were watching them move around, and then there was one that was more of a cylindrical cigar type shape. But they actually, you know, finally have started to come out and say, yeah, they were absolutely true. And when pilots go through training, they are trained on the fact that you are like, you know, you may run into this, and that, you know, these are the protocols for dealing with those situations. The thing that scared me the most about when people started hearing about these most recent sightings is that people were talking about, we got to do something to protect ourselves from them. And I was like, why do you automatically think that they're going to do something bad to us? Yeah. Maybe they are just observing us, you know, and maybe they are, you know, the kid's teacher who's taking a look at his science project and saying, hey, you know, you're messing up here. We got to do something different. But really,
actually, I have a great story about that, but really quick. I got another comment. We got a new face here as well. Stephanie, how you doing? She's got a joke for us too. My friend asked me if I was going to college to be an astronaut. He said, "Are you taking up space?" That's cute. I like that. Thank you for that.
That's perfect.
But there's a YouTuber that I listen to, Exerbia is what his name is. His channel. He's got like a little turtle in the galaxy as his logo. Really fun channel. And one of the episodes that he has, he just sort of narrates with like some music lightly in the background for the most part. But one of the episodes he has, it's about this strange object, this huge like thing that comes from the sky and just kind of hovers over Washington. Nobody knows why it was there, but the whole world just kind of stops and stares at it for the entire first day. We're all just waiting, watching on our TVs worldwide. Everybody's watching it.
Sounds like Independence Day.
Yeah, and everyone's just staring at it, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't say anything. And then the next day, you know, people are still watching it, but a couple of them have to kind of go back to work. It's been 24 hours, so some of them are starting to go back to work. And then the third day comes along, and by now all the leaders of the world are talking. They're trying to determine what to do about it. Some people like start getting cocky, you know, they're taking selfies with it in the background. They're shouting up at it, trying to communicate with it. But for the most part, like it's boarded off, but this thing's enormous in the sky, so you can't really like set an actual perimeter around it. You can't really set proper boundaries. And so people are like starting to like put on social media and stuff and take selfies, and all the leaders of the world are freaking out. They're like, what the hell do we do about this thing? And then on the fourth day, it says something. It just makes this huge noise. And everyone's like trying to figure out what it's saying. They have like people who study every language. They have people who study language, go through every language that's known to man. From hieroglyphics to what we have today, trying to figure out maybe what it could be saying.
Sounds like Close Encounters now.
Yeah.
The third kind.
And people are still freaking out. And then through a bunch of different translations, they determine that what it said was aggressive. And so now all the leaders of the world are freaking out. They haven't told the public yet because they don't want mass panic, but they don't want to keep their guard down. They're scared. They're freaking out. And by the 6th day, one of the countries finally snaps and says, "No more of this. We need to take it out." And they send a rocket at it, and it does nothing. And everybody panics and freaks out, and they start sending rockets and end up destroying themselves. And on the 7th day, and I'm not sure if this is exactly how many days it is, but it continues on and gets progressively worse and worse. And by the last day, the ship finally sends a message saying, "Hello, hi, sorry, our communicators have been malfunctioning. Do you know where the nearest repair planet is?" And they start looking around and they go, "God damn it, we did it again."
Yeah. Well, that's, and I think it's very interesting on how we take that, because it actually happens in, our daily life too. We immediately jump to, being concerned. And then from there, if you don't get the response that you would expect, or you can't communicate, then you get defensive. And then the next thing you know, you feel like they're aggressive, and then you do something that creates a conflict. And we've done that throughout human history. So, it's the same mindset that I think people have when they start worrying about aliens. And to me, if there's beings that can come here and observe our planet, they are so far advanced of what we have here that to do anything to try and be defensive is absolutely ludicrous. And that what we really need to do is reach out and try to be friends.
Absolutely. Really quick, because I did kind of butcher the hell out of that story, but I am gonna copy the link of it too, and post it down in the comments, because it is it's a great channel, and a great story as well. He's got a lot of fun stuff on there, and he says it with a lot more finesse than I do.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot more adequate than I am after an hour of waking up. But yeah, have you and Brandon got a show? Do you have anything planned?
Yeah, I'll talk with Brandon when we get a chance tomorrow, and really get this the show that we were supposed to post last week, get it posted this week, and then do the live interactive show following that, which should be on Thursday this week, where we actually get a chance to engage with our audience and talk to them more specifically about the tools that really came out of the movie Soul. And looking forward to that.
That was such a good movie. It really was.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was interesting because, to a large extent, it opens up a community that a lot of people aren't familiar with, whether that be the music community, which is one of them, and the other is the more the Black community that a lot of people don't get an opportunity to really get to know. And this weekend, actually, I was talking to a friend of mine. Actually, we met in Okinawa when we were both stationed there in the Air Force, and we did something out there that broke down barriers. And when I say that, it was actually barriers between different parts of the Air Force that didn't traditionally work well together. But the other thing that it really showed is color doesn't matter, because he was a Black lieutenant, I was a white captain. We got together. That I hate having to actually even say black and white, because to me that just brings up this artificial division in terms of people.
Yeah.
It was a captain and a lieutenant that got together. Our squadrons had traditionally fought, And we broke down those barriers and got our squadrons to work together in order to be able to make something happen that people that had been in our squadrons and in the Air Force for many years beyond the years that we were in, and said you could never do that, and we did it. And it made things so much more efficient and so much more effective for our operation, which at that time was to be able to take any of the Air Force or the Marines in Okinawa and be able to fly them to wherever they needed to be. And you can't be screwing around and arguing with each other when those things happen. You got to make it happen. You got to make it happen fast and efficient. And we were able to do that. So I talked to him, and we may be trying to launch our own show.
Nice.
Which I think would be really cool to be able to start to bring in a whole bunch of different people and try to bring in leaders that have broken down barriers. One of my friends that I worked with in Okinawa, she was a first lieutenant, I was a captain. She's now a major general in the Air Force. I mean, just a spitfire of a woman. Absolutely amazing. I loved working with her when I was in the air. You know, we were working together. This is back in 1990. And she's now a major general in the Air Force and just has, you know, had a great career. So pretty amazing.
Absolutely. That's awesome. How long did it take her to become major general?
She did it. Let's see. She's been a major general now for 2 years. She was a brigadier general before that for a few years. So that would put it back in like 2015. So about 30 years, 25 to 30 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, you can make colonel, which is just before general. You can make colonel in between 17 and 20 years. Then you have to be selected. And the selection process to become a general is a lot more intense than, you know, getting promoted to other positions. And it's, you know, really being up in the clouds. There's very few people that ever make general. And then there's much fewer women that make general.
Yeah. Do you think that it's worth becoming a general, or once you made it to colonel, you're pretty much set?
Well, it all depends on really where you want to go. I mean, as a colonel, you could be, you know, responsible for a base of 5,000 or 10,000 people. But as a general, you become responsible for multiple bases and have a greater influence. And I think if the generals, you know, are really there to be able to help their service in general, that's great. But sometimes as people are moving up in the ranks, they get so involved in the rank and the control and the power themselves, just like our politicians, that they lose focus on the bigger picture of the military, and they try to do things just to be able to prove themselves as, you know, being different.
Yeah.
No, Mandy, that she's not the first, but I was looking back through the generals, and there are a few women that have made it to lieutenant general, which it's like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. And there's actually, I think now 1 or 2 or 3 that may have made 4-star general, and that's in all the services, not just the Air Force. That's 4 in all of the services that have made it to that rank. And 4-star general is something that's, I mean, there's very few 4-star generals when you look at the whole history of the military. Yeah. But there's more and more women, there's more and more people of color that are making it to these ranks, and I think it's phenomenal that they are in fact the Joint Chiefs of Staff right now. And the Secretary of Defense actually was the Joint Chiefs of Staff leader, and he's black, so it's really great to be able to see these people of color make it there. I know when I was in, I had to fight. I grew up in a town, Waukegan, Illinois. It's a blue collar town. And I grew up where I didn't see color as a thing. My best friends were black and Puerto Rican and Mexican and things like that. So never really thought about this whole race thing. But when I got in the Air Force, I started to recognize that I had when I was just a first lieutenant, my next in command, my senior non-commissioned officer was black. The next person, supervisor in charge, was black. My training officer was a black female. And I was, one night, one of the guys who was a little bit lower in rank came in. He happened to be drinking. And he was like, how do you work like that? And I was like, what do you mean? How do I work like what? He's like, with your, the next three important people in the squadron or in your section being black. And I was like, I told him, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Go home. Don't ever want to hear anything like that again.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I really experienced how other people think about race when I was in the military. And maybe it was because I was naive, but I never felt that kind of, I was never a part of that kind of mindset before. And
from
then
a lot of what I've heard from people who are in the military and like friends that I have who served is that at the beginning there is usually quite a handful of people who are just either mildly or even blatantly racist. But once you get to a certain point in the process, the amount of stress and everything that you endure together really kind of kills that.
It can go both ways.
Yeah.
It can either break down the barrier and realize that it's just somebody's got your back. In the military, I say, I got your six, I got your back. Yeah. On the other hand, there's a lot of people that will go just the opposite direction. And because of the stress, they go back to what maybe they were originally trained when they were kids. Yeah. And they go that direction. And in fact, there's a really good series that Mel Gibson, the actor, was the producer of. It was called Carrier. And it was like an 8-part series where they filmed the life on an aircraft carrier. And one of the people on there was, he was proud to consider himself to be racist, and eventually got kicked out of the Navy, and that's what he was trying to do. But it showed him where he was drunk, and then he was hanging on to and partying with and everything like it was nothing. And then when he saw those videos the next day, he's like, I don't remember that. No, I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, you did. Here's a video. And, it's really crazy.
Well, do you think that he was acting like that then because he wanted to get kicked out?
No, I think that he was, I think he was out of Oklahoma or something like that, but I think that's how he was raised, and that's what he says. But it's really interesting because you get an opportunity to kind of see that. So if you ever get a chance to watch this series that Mel Gibson produced called Carrier, it's a great, I think, insight into the life of the military, especially on an aircraft carrier. Now, Mandy, I never did tour in South Africa. I spent my time in Korea and in Japan and in Hawaii. I spent, after 8 years of active service, I went into the reserves, and I spent 9 of those years working out of the Pentagon. And then I did my last 3 years here with Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas as a reservist. So I did a total of 20 years together, active and reserve duty. But I spent most of my time in Asia.
Nice. That had to be a lot of fun, though.
I loved it. I love being in the Air Force. I love the mission of the Air Force. I had a lot of disagreements with the policies that we were having to support. And actively, when I was in the Pentagon, I was not physically there during 9/11, but I did go and voluntarily recall. Yeah, I was at Hickam Air Force Base, Tokyo. That's when I was at the last active duty station I was at the headquarters, PACAF there. But when I was at the Pentagon, after 9/11, I voluntarily recalled to go in there. And then after 3 months of being there, they tried to recall me again to really go to the next thing, which ended up being going to Iraq the second time, which I didn't believe the reason why we should do that. To be perfectly honest, the country intentionally or unintentionally lied about why we went in there. And because at that point we could not prove and did not prove that at that time Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Did I believe that he had it before? Absolutely. Did he use them before? Absolutely. But at that time we couldn't prove it. And I think that if we're going to go into somebody else's country and we're going to do anything like that, you better be honest about why you're doing it. And I fought to not have to go over there because I was on orders to go over there, and I took it all the way to the Secretary of the Air Force, and I won my case. Not for that reason, because they would never agree to that, but there were other things that were happening at the time. So I think, in the last session, or one of the last shows that we did, we talked about, what do you do when somebody, in fact, I think Gavin, you and I were talking a little bit about this. What do you do when you're a leader and somebody's telling you to do things that are wrong, when
you get like illegal orders or something like that.
Yeah, and to me, that argument that I had and that I used to not go to Iraq were standing to my morals, where you got to be honest about what you're doing. And I hate to say that, but no country is honest all the time. In fact, I would say if we're 50-50 as far as the country goes and politicians, you're doing pretty well. Yeah. So you gotta stand your ground sometimes. But if the orders would have come through and I would have still been on the orders, I would have gone, because that was my duty. But I had an opportunity to fight, and I was one of the few people that actually probably could ever say that they got their name taken off of orders, because once they're typed in, normally you don't get off of those.
Yeah.
So,
well, just for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
We got to go on to the rest of the show here.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for the guests to come in.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they are or not. If not, then we might just be taking an early day, which is nice. It's Monday.
Well, we still got the other part of the show too.
She just messaged me, actually.
Yeah, she's excited.
I'm so sorry, Maritza. I didn't know that you didn't have the link.
Yeah, Maritza's raring to go. Stovetop yum yum.
I know. It's been a minute since I have seen or talked to her. I miss her.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her energy. I mean, I rarely cook, but I actually did use one of her recipes and cooked the broccoli cauliflower cheddar soup that she demonstrated, and it was awesome. But I ended up making 2 gallons of it, which was quite a bit of soup. I doubled the recipe thinking it wasn't going to be enough, and when I ended up with everything, I was like, "Holy cow, this is a lot!" So I still have
put it in the freezer.
I did.
Yeah. So my grandmother used to do. She would make an ungodly amount of chili.
Yeah.
And then just freeze a bunch of it. Like, she'd make enough chili for like the night, and then for probably 2 more weeks.
Well, that's how I learned to cook. Again, I don't like cooking. I mean, I appreciate what you do, what Stovetop Yum Yum does in terms of cooking and,
Thanks.
looking at it from a totally different perspective than me. I look at it as a chemistry thing where you're just putting things together and it's done. As
That's
opposed
how
to
baking is. Baking is a lot like chemistry. Like you have to measure everything exactly, or else your cakes won't rise properly, or they won't be the proper like texture. That's a lot of chemistry. But cooking itself is more seasoning.
Yeah, I can cook. I just don't like to cook because I don't like all the work that it takes to get prepared for it. Preparing everything that goes into it. Then I hate the cleaning up afterwards. But I grew up where my mom did the cooking and we did the cleaning. We being my dad or my brother, myself, my sister, and we used to determine who was going to have to do the cleaning. We'd go down in the basement and shoot pool, and whoever lost had to clean the dishes.
Yeah. Maritza, I sent the link in the group chat, by the way. You pick it up from there. But no, I usually do the cooking here, and half the time I'll also do the cleaning. Half the time, the rest of the time, either Crystal and I would do it together, or she'll just do it. But last night, like for instance, I try to clean while I cook as well, because a lot of times I do use a lot of Tupperwares and a lot of pans. Like I made egg fried rice last night with beef and chicken stir fry.
Yeah.
And I went through just a whole bunch of pans. One pan I used for both the beef and the chicken. And then I need another pan I had to make her white rice. She doesn't like egg fried rice, so I made her own plain rice. And then I had to have a big pan to mix everything into for my egg fried rice. And then I end up using probably 4 Tupperwares to divvy everything up. That's another thing too. I don't put everything in unless I have company over. I'm not putting things in nice bowls for us to serve ourselves.
Right.
It goes in Tupperware.
Yeah.
Everything goes in Tupperware. All right. I finished cooking the chicken. It went in a Tupperware, and we got it out of there. I finished cooking the beef and the rice, and they went in Tupperwares, and we got them out of there. So I don't have to pack anything up when I'm done. It's just right there. If I got family coming over, if I got friends coming over, and I'm cooking dinner for like a date night or something like that, then yeah, I'm gonna bust out some of the nicer stuff that we have and make sure it's all fancy looking and whatnot. But other than that, nah.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to address a few of the things here. I saw Jimmy. Yeah, I hear you. When you're in the military, you actually do get a chance to experience some things that may not have been part of your life before, and you get a chance to see, because really the military is a microcosm of our society, and even at that, it's a little bit different, because a lot of the people, especially in the voluntary military, since the draft, is people that are going in either because they want to or because they have to. And oftentimes those decisions are made either because of economic situations, and that's part of the reason that they have to. It's not that they're really committed to being in the military. And the other oftentimes is because they have a choice of going to jail or going into the military, and then they go to the military. Now, I love the military. I think that the military teaches a great amount of people how to accept responsibility and authority and things along those lines. I think it's a great training. But you do get a chance to experience worlds that you may not have otherwise been able to, because most people actually, it's really weird because I've traveled around the world, but a lot of people don't travel more than 50 miles from where they were born. And yet they think that they understand the world, and that's far from the truth. So that's one thing. And then I see that Tokyo Bento asked about Zippy's chili in Hawaii. I do remember it. I didn't go there that often, but I do remember it. And I love chili. Chili is one of my favorite things. I used to cook that with my dad when we were growing up, and it was pretty awesome.
Do you like it more like soup, or do you like it really chunky?
I like it thick, but not necessarily chunky.
Okay.
You know, almost to where the beans are breaking down. And then I
Yeah.
love to put onions and cheese on it, and
Yes.
that to me is awesome. And it's got to be spicy. If it's not spicy, it's
Oh, yeah.
not worth it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that you mentioned is the draft. I saw the other day. I didn't look much further into it. I just saw it on a video. Somebody was talking about it. It's possible that so Biden wants, I believe he wants Congress to decide, but it is on the table right now as a possibility of women having to register for the draft.
Well, I think that everybody should.
Yeah.
You know, why is it that only men should be registering for the draft, especially in these day and age where we've got more equality? I think that it should be shared, and the opportunities are there. The militaries have changed dramatically in terms of opening up opportunities for women, even into combat now. So it's something that I think, you know, if we're going to be equal, then make it equal.
No, absolutely, absolutely. When you get drafted, does that mean that you're going to be on the front lines with a gun shooting at the enemy, or could you be in any job as if you were to sign up regularly?
Well, you know, the draft hasn't been around for what, 40 years now?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And the thing about the draft is, there was a lot of people that got drafted that never saw combat. They became admin officers. They never went overseas. There's a lot of positions that are not combat related. So you could easily go into the military and never see combat at any point in time. So
I feel like that should be, because I did not know that until now. I feel like that needs to be stressed more as well with when it comes to telling people about signing up for the draft. Because in my mind, it was always, okay, if you get drafted, that means that the military, that means I'm going to have 2 to 3 soldiers knocking on my door saying, hey, we got to go. And then I'm getting strapped up and going and shooting people.
Well, you know, and again, a lot of it depends on the service. Like in the Army and in the Marines, the primary fighting force, combat force, are the enlisted.
Yeah.
In the Air Force, the actual combat forces are the officers and the pilots, right? And everybody else is supporting them. So you can be in a lot of different roles. And for myself, I was in logistics, which is at the, you know, getting people on the planes, making sure that we can load the cargo on the planes, taking care of the vehicles that the Air Force used throughout the world. So those are all different aspects of things where they're combat support, but not direct combat.
Gotcha. I got one more question really quick, and then we're going to bring in Stovetop Yum Yum for her segment. When you get drafted, are you able to choose which branch you go into?
If you are and again, the draft was 50 years ago, so there is no draft right now. But when the draft was in place, often for the most part, you didn't have a choice when you were drafted. If you wanted to get more of a choice, you needed to enlist at that time and enlist into one of the services.
Yeah.
More like what we do today, where you can enlist in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. And then oftentimes when you enlist, you can also try to see if you can select the career field that you want to go into, which luckily I didn't go into the one that I thought was going to be good for me, because I was thinking with my background in economics, I should go into some sort of administrative thing. Man, if I'd have done that, I'd have hated it, because that behind the desk thing just doesn't cut it for me. And when they put me into logistics and you're out and about and, you know, all over the place and getting a chance to interact with people and load planes and get out on those huge giant planes. And also in Korea, I had responsibility for the 4,000 vehicles that were Air Force vehicles throughout the peninsula of South Korea. And those were fantastic, because you got a chance to see and do a lot of things, and you didn't have to sit behind a desk all the time, which was more fun for me anyhow.
Nice. Awesome. Well, coming up next, we have Stovetop Yum Yum.
Awesome. Where'd you go?
What happened? There we go. I don't know. I clicked on the light thing, and my computer just took me back to the home screen all of a sudden.
Marissa!
I was like panicking around.
There
You're
she
muted,
is.
hon. Gotta
Hey,
unmute.
guys.
There we go. Hey,
Good
Marissa, how you
morning.
doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
Good
How have you
morning.
been? How was your week?
Oh, it was great. It was, very busy at work, and I've been working really hard. I've got my first photo shoot coming up this week for my cookbook, and
Ooh,
my
you
merchant.
excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. My merchandise line. We got our machines in, and I'm really, really so happy.
Nice.
How about
What
you?
are you wearing for the photo shoot?
I wish I could grab it from the closet and show you, but I ordered a beautiful white chef's coat.
Awesome.
Oh.
2 buttons on the
Awesome.
side.
Uh-huh.
So I've got some surprises. I look forward to everything working out great. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be
That's
spot on.
I'm sure it will be.
fantastic. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to
Oh,
read it.
I missed you guys. Yeah, I missed you guys.
Missed
I
you
hope you guys
too.
had a good weekend too. And I've been,
Yeah.
I was a little bit under the weather a few weeks ago, and I'm
Right.
good now. Yeah,
Good.
taking
That's
care of
awesome.
myself.
I
Yep.
feel that. I had all last week. I had that stomach bug. I feel like everybody could see. I know the one day I wasn't here because of it, but I'm finally back. I'm at a comfortable 90% today.
Yeah, that's how I
Oh.
feel too. I mean, wasn't it
Yeah.
horrible? Oh, I'm not going to get into details, but it was horrible. It was bad. The belly.
Because
thing.
you said that, I'm gonna assume that it was like what I had, and if it's like what I had, then yeah, it was pretty irritating
Yeah.
to say the least.
No TMI though. We don't want no TMI. I'm about to cook.
Yeah, not before we eat anyway.
No. Guys, today I have a really special treat for all of you. Today I am making delicious caramelized banana whole wheat pancakes with blueberries on
Ooh.
top.
Wow.
Really great. I mean, whole wheat flour, guys, has like 3 times the fiber. It's so much healthier than AP flour. And it's very filling and so delicious. You guys are not even going to believe how delicious it is. I always say it, Gavin, you know that. You guys know I always say healthy does not mean that because it's healthy, it's not delicious. We can make it delicious. Like last night, I made a chicken stir fry with brown rice. Delicious.
Ooh, there you go.
It was good. How about you, Brett? How are you doing?
I am doing awesome. Luckily, I haven't encountered that flu bug or anything like that. So I've been doing well as far as that goes. And, it's beautiful weather out here in Vegas, other than the winds have been about 30, 40 miles an hour, which is normal for Vegas at this time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But the temperature has been fantastic. So, yeah, it's been great.
Wonderful. It's been breezy here as well. Breezy Florida. Hot airs and blowing hot air. You know how that is.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not complaining.
I was going to
The
say
other
that
day I went up.
when I talk, blowing a lot of hot air.
Yeah, right. It was
The
great.
other day I went outside and it felt perfect room temperature outside. And like I stepped down, I looked at Crystal, I said, "Do you feel that?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Nothing." Because I couldn't tell. It was at least my perfect body temperature. I couldn't tell where my skin and the air connected.
Right.
Like it was the weirdest, most surreal feeling ever.
I had
Wow.
that same thing the other night here. I was talking with my girlfriend, and she's in Chicago, and I walked outside, and I was like, it's absolutely perfect. You don't tell the difference.
Yeah.
It was great to see Brandon this morning too, and I'm glad he had a successful week. And you know how we're all really fighting hard for our dreams, and we're doing it as a team together. And it makes me really happy to see how all the different creations are coming along. And everybody knows I support and love them all. Okay, so let's get down to this now. Okay, guys, you ready?
Yes. What are we doing? What you got?
All right, I have my pan. I have 5 bananas. Hey, keep in mind, guys, I put a little sprinkle of brown sugar, and I put 5 pieces of banana. So the molasses will caramelize it. Caramelizing bananas will take it to the next level, believe me. It's so delicious. And I have my ingredients here. I pre-made it because I only have a 30-minute segment.
Right.
Yeah.
So I used 2 cups of whole wheat flour. I also used 2 tablespoons of baking powder. I used a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of sea salt, probably about 2 1/4 cups of milk of your choice. We're a fat-free milk family, so that's what I used. And I went ahead and mashed up 2 large ripe bananas. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. Mashed it up, and 2 large eggs, and 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, or you can use coconut oil if you'd like. So that was
Gotcha.
easy.
Don't worry about going too fast. People can always rewind it and watch back.
Yeah, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So I have my little cut up bananas over here. Let me show you.
So this is a breakfast dish then.
Yes, breakfast.
Okay.
Yes. You can have it for dinner as well.
A lot of sweet.
Also, keep in mind, guys, that when you are using real maple syrup, it's a lot healthier than the syrup that we use now with a lot of corn syrup and sugars in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you can use agave, you can use honey, you can use whatever you like. See how I put that on the right over the bananas? Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Now, do you want your pan really hot, or do you want it kind of medium since you're caramelizing?
I caramelize the bananas, and it's on 1 after high. That's a good question, Gavin. Thank you. And then I'm going to lower it to 1 above medium because, you know, our pans get hot. So what I do, a little secret that I have when I make every pancake is I'll take the frying pan to the stove, and I'll rinse it out with cold water to cool the pan down real quick to start the next one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If it's too hot, it'll burn your pancakes very easily.
Yes.
So after like 2 or 3 minutes, guys, you'll see the bubbles coming up in our delicious pancake. I did make one before the show because I'm just proactive like that, you know. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And it was off the chain how delicious it was. It felt a lot heartier than when I've made it with AP flour in the past. Does that make sense? With all-purpose flour?
Yeah.
A little heavier, but but really delicious. Really, really delicious. And keep in mind, you can substitute. You can use olive oil instead of unsalted butter. You can use coconut oil. I also have some fresh blueberries here. I go through
I was looking at those.
Yeah, I go through so many blueberries, Gavin, that I buy like 10-pound bags of frozen blueberries. That's how much I use blueberries. It's so antioxidant and so good for you. Today it's going to be
I get the variety packs because I put them in smoothies. So I get the big frozen variety packs.
Yes, I have strawberries and blueberries. I got my little remember this little monster thing when I made the Norwegian pancakes?
Yeah.
Remember that? All right, let's see what we're doing here now. Get ready. The first flip is always the toughest. Okay. That's okay. It's caramelized. Keep in mind, guys, the banana is caramelized. So it's okay that it looks like that. You guys see it?
Now, is this something that you would use you would eat with syrup, or is it already sweet enough from the bananas that you wouldn't eat it?
I would advise you can eat it like that. But I would advise if you don't want to use syrup, real maple syrup, you can drizzle some honey on it or some agave.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, which studies have shown that honey is a lot healthier than agave.
Yeah.
They say that agave is worse than corn syrup, but then again, blow drying your hair gives you cancer. So, I mean, I don't know. You know how that goes, right? Everything, you know, even the water we drink. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I would... Yeah, but I'm going to treat myself today and use some maple syrup. I've got some country rich maple syrup here.
Yeah, if you get like the grade B type maple syrup, real maple, you know, it tastes different than the more commercial syrups. And it's much more healthy for you because it's real maple. And you can see it. If you go to the store, you got to look for it because there's not as much of it and it's more expensive. Yeah. But you'll see that it's not all that corn sugar and junk like that. And you'll see it's maple syrup is the number one, or maple is the number one thing on the ingredients list on those.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure to spray your pan. And I don't know if I mentioned in my ingredients, but I also use cinnamon in my batter.
You didn't say
really good.
That cinnamon note pops out. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why when you said honey, I reacted to it because it actually sounds really, really wonderful with honey, just because it's not nearly as sweet as maple is.
Right.
And I know bananas have a specific kind of sweetness to them. I feel like the honey would complement that.
Right. And I'm using brown sugar, guys, to get the caramelization of the molasses in the brown sugar. It's beautiful. And like I said, whenever, I'm sure you know this, Brandon, because you work in restaurants, but whenever you caramelize a banana, it just takes it to like the 10th level. Oh my God. It really tastes different. It's delicious. So delicious.
Yeah, I'll definitely ask Brandon what he thinks about that when he's on.
Yeah, I love the look on Gavin's face when you called him Brandon.
Oh my God. I called you Brandon?
I just called you out on you. You didn't even notice.
I love you, Gavin. I'm sorry. Oh my God. What the heck? This has never changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to garnish with some syrup, some blueberries, and maybe a few little bananas. Make sure your bananas are nice and ripe. When I went shopping yesterday, I looked for the nice with the black spots. The riper it is, the better. Kind of like close to the bananas you would use to make like a banana bread, if that makes any sense.
Oh my God, I just remembered that I have very, very ripe bananas in the fridge. I hope they haven't turned to mush.
Wow. Yum.
Oh, geez. Well, I froze them because they were
Mhm.
hanging on my banana tree and they broke at the top, the tips. Like, oh, well, now they're going to oxidize and they're going to become spoiled in like an hour. So I threw them in the freezer and then I went and I bought banana bread mix.
Nice.
And I put them in the fridge to thaw them out.
Very nice. Yum, yum. Yeah, you can definitely
can't peel a frozen banana. It just doesn't work.
No, oh no, you have to defrost it. But I mean, you did preserve it by freezing it, which was very smart. So
yes, but I also might have ruined it by just leaving it in the fridge for days.
Keep in mind, guys, that I'm not perfect, and no one that cooks is perfect. I love when all this stuff happens like this because it happens. I mean, this is not staged, and I'm a normal person, and it happens. So I'm happy when it happens, so you guys can see that it's just not perfect. It's the caramelization, see it from the bananas, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. So I
noticed that you put the brown sugar in the pan first, and then the bananas on top. Is there a reason why you do that rather than coat the bananas?
Yes. The reason why I do that is the molasses and the brown sugar will caramelize the bananas. So if you put it at the bottom of the pan and you drop your bananas, it's kind of like if you're just caramelizing bananas. See, if I were to do it like put it in the mix or put it on top of the banana, then the batter, it wouldn't caramelize the banana.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and like I said, it takes it to the next level, believe me.
Yeah.
You see the caramelization of the bananas?
Yes, I do. I do now.
Yum. Yeah, I'm giving you a little close-up here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to work, and we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to make 3 of these. Because you guys are going to love
Tokyo wants to know if you flambe the bananas.
What's that?
Tokyo wants to know if you flambe the bananas.
You can.
She has an electric stove, so she cannot flambe anything right now, Tokyo.
Right. But you can flambe them if you'd like. If Tokyo's got that fancy gas stove, go right ahead. Be my guest.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. I love flambéed bananas. Hey, I'm looking forward to you guys. You know that not this Monday coming up, the following one, Brett and Gavin. Yeah. I'll be at the Universal Studios at the resort at the Lowe's Portofino Bay.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll be there for 5 days. My husband's going to be 50, and we're celebrating Mother's Day, so it's going to be really extraordinary. I'm still trying to see if I can get. I got such nice restaurants we're going to, but at the hotel to see what I can do to sneak in the back and do something. Whether it's pre-recorded or not, or right. I'll take my laptop with me. I can't take all my equipment with me because I'll have to go buy. I just had to go buy another suitcase just for shoes. Go figure that. My husband's shoes, even worse. But yeah, it's really I'm really gonna try hard. I sprayed a little bit more. I'm really gonna try hard, guys, to have something for you on Monday when I'm gone. I really will do my best because I really want to be here with you guys and share with you, my experience over there and I've been there several times already, but I just love it. I love to travel, and I love learning cuisines from different countries. Excuse me.
Right.
And you guys, it's very similar. These batters. I mean, all over the world, it's done different. I'll give you a perfect example. I have on my website, Gavin and Brett. I have pictures of when I was in Africa working on the cassava to make that dough. Have you ever seen that dough that when you're in Africa and you're sitting at a table with people, they'll walk around with a big bucket of like lukewarm water with soap, and everybody washes their hands?
Right.
You ever seen that?
Mhm.
Okay. And then when you're done, that big blob is in the middle. It looks like dough. It's not dough. It's made out of cassava, yucca root.
Right.
And the way they make it is, it's wow. Ladies have strong arms. And then the tradition is you cannot stand up while you're making it. You have to stay sitting down. Oh my God.
Oh, really?
I have pictures on my website doing that. Oh my God, it was so hard. My arms were killing me. Long story short, everyone dibs in, takes a piece, and dips it in their soup and eats it. So everybody's hands is in the same thing.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm very humble. I'm a very humble woman, but my scruples are really bad. So, in other words, what I mean by that, my scruples are really bad, is that, oh, look at the caramelization on this, you guys. Sorry, I had to show you. Look at that. That is not burned, you guys. That's all
wonderful.
caramelization.
Yeah.
Yum. So long story short, my scruples are so bad that it's kind of hard for me to sit with everybody at a table and everybody sticking their hands in the same plate. Does that make sense? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, you got to get used to it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get used to it. But, I tried. I did try. I'm a humble woman, and I tried. So long story short, everyone has their different, here we use flour for our different mixes. Over there, they use a lot of cassava. In Denmark, they use a lot of, what do you call that? It's a flour. I forgot the name of it. I had the tip of my tongue. They use a special flour for their stuff. Look at the Norwegian pancakes that I made, how thin they were. They almost look like crepes. So it's all different. I have so much respect for cuisine around the world, guys, that it's not even funny. I absolutely, positively love it. So I'm going to, I wanted to bring that example up. About Africa to give you guys an idea, which I'm sure you're aware, and everyone is as well. Even Tokyo Bento in Japan, they have the most incredible snacks in Japan. I mean, omitting on the side. I mean, I know Gavin loves crickets, but I've never tried a cricket. And as a chef, I'm screwed because I have to try a cricket. You never knock anything as a chef until you try it. Yeah. So, I'll probably end up trying that powder cricket in a smoothie one day. I probably won't even taste crickets. Probably taste crunchy or God knows. But
there's a little bit of a texture, but that's about it. Or then you don't really taste anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like, are you pretty much done cooking those then? That was very quick.
Yeah, sure was. Look at this. I'm going to garnish it now, guys. I'm making
quick garnish, and just like that, very easy.
Yeah, I'm making conversation with you guys because I love you guys. I love our viewers, and I love.
We love you too, Maritza.
Yes, and I love creating things. And I can't believe I called you Brandon. I'm so sorry, but shit, I can't believe shit.
It's all right. It's not the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last time either.
I know. All right, I'm grabbing my hands are clean. Okay, guys.
Okay. Some blueberries on. This reminds me of like the Eggo waffle commercials, where they show you all the different ways that people make them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit. You can also sprinkle some more cinnamon if you'd like, but I already did a taste test, so these are already cinnamony enough for us.
I was thinking a little bit of powdered sugar would be really nice on top.
Drizzle some. You can drizzle some orange blossom honey. I mean, whatever you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works either way. Look at this, guys.
Look at that.
Ooh.
How beautiful is that?
That looks wonderful, Maritza.
That looks awesome.
That looks absolutely wonderful.
Hey, guys. I'm ready for the twerk. Are you?
I was going to say, are we going to see the twerk?
Yes, of course.
All right. Show us the taste test.
Yes, taste test. I got my Pac-Man shorts on today.
I saw you were cooking in socks, it looks like.
Yes, I'm always cooking in socks. I'm like close to the barefoot Contessa.
All right, Maritza, I'm going to solo you out. You want to go ahead, give us a taste test, then give us your final words, and we're going to bring in our guest, all right?
Okay, you got it.
Here
goes, guys.
How is it? Oh, she's got her hand up.
Oh my God, it's so tasty and so delicious. And I'm gonna go dun, 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 dun. Guys, listen. Always remember that eating something healthy is never, ever, ever anything that cannot taste good. Taste delicious.
Right.
Yes, always. And enjoy this. It's so healthy for you. Good fiber, antioxidant. Woo, I know Gavin's going to go for that probably orange blossom honey. I know him.
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking for that in the store.
Wow.
Absolutely. Any last words, Maritza?
Wait a second. Sorry. Anyway, always remember, guys, I always say it in every video, and I'm going to keep saying it until I'm not here anymore. Always remember to look for the light. Be with positive people that have confidence and that will help lift you up. That's the best way to be. And always know that in life, your dreams will come true. The reason why dreams don't come true is because people stop dreaming. Never, ever give up on your dreams. And always know that I love you. And always also know that I'm here for you. Anything that you need, I'm always going to be a shoulder to cry on and a friend to talk to. And I love you guys and enjoy this recipe. Hey, don't forget to go to Stovetop Yum Yum on YouTube. Gavin, put the link. Yeah.
I'm grabbing it.
And I love you, Brett.
I love you too, Maritza. Awesome job. It's a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, it was great.
Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right. Coming up next, we have our guest. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we figured it out. Known as the Mind Whisperer, Dawna combines her past knowledge, wisdom, and experience to assist you in creating and restoring a life of happiness, prosperity, and love. Dawna has over 25 years combined of professional experience. As a former financial advisor, her book, Financially Fit, is a #1 Amazon international bestseller, bringing together the world of money and the energy body and the soul essence. She is a professional speaker sharing her techniques during interactive workshops and maintains an international private practice. Dawna has shared the stage with Lisa Nichols, Dr. Joe Vital, and Sharon Letcher, and has been featured on Yahoo Finance, Fox News, NBC, Roku TV, and the LA Tribune. Her professional heart-centered healing philosophy is to create a world that is better for all to live in. Without further ado, everybody please welcome the one and only Dawna Campbell.
Hi.
Hi, Dawna. How are you doing today?
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Looking forward to hearing from you today, Dawna.
Yes.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing really great. I just returned from Belize late last night, putting together an energy healing retreat, how to trust your inner voice in business. And so I must have carried over some of my technology glitches from there back into my life here because nothing wanted to work for me internet-wise down there.
all the time, I tell people on the show, I tell them that I took a trip to Belize a couple years ago, and it's such a beautiful country. It is amazing. So many fun things and out of this world things to do there, and they're simple too. Just being around in that nature.
Very simple.
How long were you down there for?
I was there for a week, putting together the retreat at a. I'm going to say it's more of an organic retreat center that's down there because everything is fresh fruit, fresh, coconut milk or juice right out of the coconut. You eat incredibly healthy. And so watching that last segment, I'm just like, wow, I'm hungry, and I wasn't hungry before.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I never get to eat breakfast before the show, so Mondays are especially hard.
So, but I do have to say the most creative meal that I had was this little local place. They had one table out front. She like cooked right there next to you. And
Yeah.
she had 3 things on the menu. So you ordered, of course, fried fish and fritters, but the fritters were green banana fritters, which I've never had. And the fried fish was an entire fish fried whole,
Yeah.
bones and all. It
Oh
was
my
really
God.
good, but it was different than what I had in my
Did
mind.
you have horchata while you were there?
I didn't, no.
Oh,
But
it's so good.
at the
It's-
center, it was far enough out that the grocery store was like 45 minutes to an hour away. So you had to
Yeah.
prepare, do everything in advance, make your own bread, all of that.
Wow.
So
Wow. An absolutely beautiful country. If you're a listener and you have not been, I would highly recommend trying to figure out a way to get down to Belize sometime. And if you have been, you already know and want to go again. Like you did.
yeah, I'm ready to
Do
go
you
back.
travel a lot then?
I do. I love to travel. I do have an international practice. So when I can't travel, of course, I'm on the phone with my clients, but I love going to places, experiencing life, and then coming back. So
That's amazing. So tell us a bit more then about what exactly it is that you do.
I got called the mind whisperer, and the media has stuck with that because I have this innate ability to help people create instantaneous change in their life in 3 categories: health, wealth, or relationships. And internationally, that's what people want to improve on. But when you really look at it, what we really want in life is happiness, prosperity, and love, and to
Yes.
live a prosperous life of happiness and love. And so our feelings and emotions are all energy, it's all vibration, and it's all frequency, which is exactly what Nikola Tesla said.
Yes.
And when we shift and change the feeling behind a thought that we have, you can have and create instantaneous change.
Absolutely.
And that's what I do for clients is I find the hidden subconscious energy that's blocking them from going to the next level, what's preventing from better health, what's preventing from that soulmate coming in, to release it, change it to a different frequency, and then their life changes. And it's a
Gotcha.
technique that I learned from a medicine woman.
So what are some of the things that you would recommend for somebody just starting out on this journey then?
Wow, awareness is key. So what you want to do is make sure of what and how you feel in the moment, because we're only aware of our thoughts and how we feel about 10% of the time. The other 90% is deeply hidden in the subconscious. So if you're not aware of how you feel, you don't know what gets encoded. So our subconscious records everything from the moment we're born to the moment we exit this earth. And then it assigns the feelings that we feel in those moments to events, and then we don't realize what gets stuck there. And something could have happened way back when you were like 7 that seemed really insignificant, but created the pattern of today going, how did I get here? So I help follow that mind loop map from the brain, going back so we can change it to basically a different radio station.
Absolutely. So it's that finding that initial action of the cause and effect.
Right, absolutely. And what your experience today may not be the event that got encoded, 20, 30 years ago. And so that's what I do is we go on that journey and then we change it. And then we forward look, and everything in life moving forward is completely different as well. I say instantaneous because it does happen quick. It happens fast. Anytime you change a vibration or a feeling, you will feel it through the body within a matter of moments. So if you want to know how fast it goes, if you were to rub an onion on the bottom of your foot, you would taste it in your mouth in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds. And that's how fast our brain will create the chemical of the feeling, and it will run through your body in 2 or 3 seconds. And then based on,
I don't want to waste an onion, but would that work with garlic as well?
choose garlic. Anything. You can use an
Garlic?
essential oil if you want. You'll taste it in your mouth.
So if I go get a garlic clove and I crush it and I rub it on my foot, I'm gonna taste it, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, within a couple of seconds.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Keep talking to Brett.
Let's
I'll be
do
right
it.
back.
And so that's what happens with our feelings, is that they get created, but they run through our body. And in a matter of seconds, if you have a new surge of energy or a new feeling, you runs through your whole body. It's how we can have anger in a flash of a moment, and you feel it everywhere.
Absolutely. That's what I do. And as a leadership advocate, is really talk about those types of things.
I just looked out the window. It's so pretty outside.
The first thing you have to do is really become aware, and then
Absolutely.
and everything is energy. And I talk a lot about what you're talking about in terms of using what I call, or what is called, the Dickens process. Going back into your history, finding those events, you change the frequency or the energy around that event, and that changes everything that occurred after that event. From it could be your childhood to today. It just changed it like a set of dominoes.
Yeah, I gotta go right now.
Yeah,
I'm waiting. I can smell it. That's for sure.
The garlic would be strong.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and like you're saying, you know, the energy of the garlic, the energy of the onion, those are all the things. I mean, it's all energy. So what we're tasting, what we're smelling, is all about a different frequency, a different energy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My fiance's gonna be pissed when I go back to bed after this.
You smell like garlic. Yeah. She made me do it. No.
I don't taste it yet, but I also have a lot of callus on my. I walk around barefoot a lot, especially outside. Would that cause the energy to not be able to flow?
Because it has more to go through. So you could put it in the thinner part of your wrist, but you should start tasting it in your mouth.
It's like the worst cologne ever.
You won't have any vampires. Isn't it garlic that keeps them away or something like that?
Yes, absolutely.
And are you getting the juice of the garlic out?
Yeah, I broke it.
Okay.
I'm not getting anything yet.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Take a big breath. And it should start going into the bloodstream and into your mouth. You should be able to start tasting it.
Okay.
Awareness is key. Yeah. Do you taste it?
Very, very lightly on the tip of my tongue, I do, yeah.
It'll get stronger. I'm sorry. It'll happen when you go to bed.
Wait until you get your fiance and she's like, you should eat garlic.
On the sofa.
I know,
Tastes
right?
like garlic, Gavin.
Yeah, it'll start. It'll grow stronger. But that's how fast things move through our body. And when you make that change and that result comes, it can be a matter of maybe 30 minutes, or it might be a day. Within a day, you'll have a different result by doing this process. One of my clients, she wanted to have more fun and play in her life because she didn't think she was that fun. And when we got off the phone, it was about 30 minutes later, her daughter walked in the room and said, "Hey, Mom, you're so much fun. Can we go do these things? I really enjoy doing these types of things with you." And she's like, "Never in a million years would my daughter have said that." But what happened was the daughter picked up the energy frequency of what we just changed it to and gave validation and confirmation back of the frequency she was sending out.
Absolutely.
How's your mouth there?
A little garlicky. Very, very, very slightly.
Yeah,
it's amazing, because if you're talking about, like, here we're talking about, you know, physically the garlic aspect, like you were just describing. When you change your energy, when you tune in to a different energy, others will perceive that energy as well, and you will start to attract or repel energies based on the energy that you change. So it's absolutely amazing when you realize that. And I know Mandy says she's not sure how to make things happen. It's really about opening up your mind and taking the opportunity to realize that all it is really a change. Like the old time radios where you could turn the tuner, not digital type things, but when you turn the tuner, that's what you do, and you refine that energy, and then all of a sudden everything changes.
Absolutely. And it's dialing it in for that clear communication, that clear message, and for you to send it out, because we're all like radio receivers. We're always sending out the energy, and we're always receiving the energy around us to be influenced by. And it's kind of a two-way street. So that's exactly right there. Often people talk about the law of attraction, which is your thought that creates your reality. But if you go a layer deeper, it's really about the law of magnetism, because it's the energy you're sending out that attracts back, that gets associated to the thought.
So for somebody who they get the self-realization step down and now they're ready to start making changes, would you recommend that it's better to just knock everything out all at once, or to take steps at a time? Let's say you have somebody where they don't like their job, maybe they're in a relationship they don't like, they don't really have any friends or family, they just want to pack up and move. Would you recommend like that, or would you say like, hey, maybe start one thing at a time? Maybe try to find a different job first, and maybe put yourself more out there to get some friends or different friends. Maybe try counseling for your relationship, stuff like that. Or would you say like, if you're comfortable just packing it up and bouncing, then that's what's best for you? Or is that sort of an unhealthy extreme?
I've done it both ways, and that's a doing step, and that's an action step. Those things. What you would want to do first is, people come all the time, say, for example, in a relationship, do I stay in my relationship? Do I stay married, or do I get divorced? Well, I can't make that decision for you. What I can do is clear the energy in that and in the relationship for the answer to be clear for you to either choose to stay or choose to go. Because if you just go out and make the action step in that, it may be the right answer for you, and it may not be the right answer for you. If you do it all at once or step by step for the universe, it doesn't really matter to the universe, because it's just returning the frequency back that you send out. So I've had people come to me, and when we do the process, they fall in love with their spouse all over again and have an amazing marriage. And I've had people who come to me when we follow the process that they really went two separate ways and their marriage ended. But it was what they were creating. All I can do is clear the energy so you have clear answers.
That's right. And when you're talking relationships, it's not just your energy, it's the energy of whoever you're with. And that's one of the big things. Like, I don't know if you use essential oils and things like that, but essential oils are different frequencies.
Yes.
And oftentimes, like I have a friend who's a holistic vet, and she uses essential oils with the pets, and she mixes them and so forth based on what the owner says the pet's issue is. But the biggest thing is when the owner applies the essential oil to the pet, they both are getting the frequencies of the oils, and they start to align. And that oftentimes the mixture she makes is for helping the owner, because it's the owner's energy that is creating the pet's actions.
Absolutely. Because anytime you work on an animal, you're really working on with the owner, because they are in a shared energy frequency field. Anytime you work on somebody's abundance of money, that abundance of money issues, that money responds to the person's frequencies with it. And when you change the person's frequency, the frequency of money will shift and change with them too. And even in relationships, yes, you have two energies with it, but then there's a third energy, which is the combined energy field. And I've been around married couples where individually they've been independently in a certain frequency, but when they get together, it's like, what happened? You guys are like all confused. This is so different because of their combined energy field. So we don't think about that, but we are the sum of the people that we are around. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like one of the things that I use is an assessment to help to identify kind of where your energies are around more of the I Ching and so forth.
Mhm.
And you can have a relationship where you both are of the same energy and you
Mhm.
have a challenge with that relationship. Or you can bring somebody from the opposite side in, but if you recognize that you both have different energies and that combined, like you were talking about, is where the real power is, and that power could be positive or negative depending on how you
Mhm.
are actually interacting. But it's there's a tremendous awareness, as you brought up earlier. Awareness is critical. Awareness of what your core energies are and what your significant other's core energy is really can make a massive difference in terms of how your relationship works, because now you can understand where each other is coming from, and that energy together is totally different once you recognize that.
Mhm. Absolutely in that. And knowing who you are and what you are about, but then remaining and staying authentic and true with that so you don't get overpowered by some of the external energies.
Yeah, I always say congruency is really critical.
Mhm.
Congruent in your mind and your thought and your energy and your actions.
Mhm.
And that relieves stress.
Mhm.
So if you can be in your natural core energies, then you will have less stress in your life, less stress in your relationships, and opportunities will arise.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I wrote a book called Financially Fit that's similar on what this exact topic is. I'm formerly a financial advisor and a managing principal of an investment firm. And Financially Fit is not about how to invest or how to eliminate debt. It is how to be in that financially fit alignment in the heart, mind, and soul. Because if you are in that alignment first, all of that is going to come back to you 10 times greater, 20 times greater than when you're not in that alignment.
Absolutely. And you said you wrote a book on that. Is that book available then out on Amazon?
It is. It's an international bestseller today on Amazon. So you can find it on there. You can find it on barnesandnoble.com. Or if you wanted a copy autographed, you can go to financiallyfitbook.com and I'll sign one for you.
Financiallyfitbook.com. Okay, well, we definitely want to be able to get that out there so that everybody can find it and get an autograph copy.
That'd be fun. And so it's about, happiness is on our inside, what our blocks are around money, how it's interconnected, and how our words are even the same. So when we talk about when clients say, I want to feel like I'm worthy or that I'm enough or that I'm valued, those are the same words we use in the financial services industry. There's the value of your portfolio or your net worth is this. Do you have enough money for your goal? And if you don't feel those things, if you don't feel like you're enough on the inside, you're never going to have enough on the outside to facilitate that. So I talk about that and the different energy blocks that we have, as well as the doors that open up prosperity in our life through energy and vibration. So
Right.
that's what the book is about.
So I'm curious, how did you go from being a financial advisor to an energy guru?
I have my own little journey there. I talk a little bit about it in the beginning part of Financially Fit, but I traded my health for my job is what I did. And I learned I couldn't digest food for about 2 years. And then after that, my marriage ended as I was getting healthier. And from there, I decided I had what was in common with me. So I moved to an ashram, which is a spiritual living community, to really learn about energy, vibration, meditation. I studied brainwave patterns, all of what I could get my hands on for natural healing. And then from there, I couldn't get re-employed in the financial services industry because it was a global recession and nobody was hiring.
Yeah.
And I became financially devastated following all the money rules. So I had all three of those categories in about a 4 to a 5 year time frame. And then through my studies, it brought me to a medicine woman. It brought me to a Zen Buddhist monk, some shamans, a yogic healer, to uncover this natural ability that we have to really create the reality that we live in. So that's what I do today. But of course, my background is in financial planning because I have a passion for helping people get ahead in life and to really create that. And it didn't work in the financial planning arena for me. It works now because I learned some of these little secrets.
So I am 21 years old. What is some advice that you would give me being as the age that I am?
Wow. At 21, advice.
Yes.
The first thing that I would say is look at where you currently are in life. The second thing is look at where you want to be in life and what you would like to have, and ask yourself, how does it feel not having it today? And then look at it when it's how does it feel? What is the energy or emotion that it is felt by not having that today? Because it is possible today.
Yeah.
But do you have stress? Do you have pressure? Do you have worry? Do you have frustration? Do you have, I know it's going to be coming along in the future, so that would be hope. But what does that really feel like on the inside? And then look back in your life and see where you felt that energy before, because that's what's stopping you from having it today in this moment, even though you believe it's going to come in the future. But the future's never here. You only have this moment.
Yeah.
You only have the present moment. So look where you're at, look where you want to be, and identify what might be stopping you from having it. And once you have that awareness, that's the key, then things can start shifting and changing.
Mandy Atterbury has a question for you.
Uh-huh.
How would I go about manifesting more money? Question from one of the followers.
Yeah. Awareness is the key. And then the first thing is knowing what it is that you want in life. So how do you go about manifesting more money? Well, why do you want to have more money? And usually that why is a reason based on a relationship or family. It's usually used to create more time, whatever that is. And then again, the process is the same. How does it feel by not having it? Because you have to release the energy to that first, and then you can start creating that more money. So there's a difference between manifesting and creating. So often we say we want to manifest this into our life. Well, that's the idea that we have to the energy that we want. But what we really want is to have it in creation. And when it comes in creation form, it's tangible. You can touch it. You can feel it. It's there. So there's a process that I talk about, and it's even in Financially Fit, about purposeful creation and how to create more. And it has to also do with how our brain works. Are you more masculine brain or are you more feminine brain? Not about gender, but what side of the brain we're using and how we're creating with that. And what we want to do in society is we run out and we go and we do all of these things, which is that 10% of the consciousness. If I do this, this will be the return. But that's only 10%. The 90% is in the subconscious, which is the being. And that's the manifesting side, and being in the energy that you need to be in to allow that to come into creation. And then what happens with that is when you sit in the beingness and it's like you're doing nothing, then you know the appropriate actions to take. And then that comes into an alignment and then it just happens. But there's 3 or 4 chapters around the whole purposeful creation, the manifesting creation cycle, and how to bring your manifesting into creation. But I also put out 5 steps to instantly create in your life. And the first step is knowing what it is. The second step is seeing it. The third step is speaking it. The fourth step is feeling it. And then after that, you have to detach the energy and go into an energy of just beingness. and then it comes into your life. And I just have
def-
that out on YouTube. You can watch the how-to video and the meditation with it. It's free.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love that it's free. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I definitely love what you're saying. However, to Mandy specifically, I think that I'm speaking directly to Mandy as well. I think that your goal is, I don't want to say incorrect, but I think it shouldn't be the focus. You want to have more money, you want to have more financial stability in life. However, I think that your main goal should be not how do I make more money, but what can I do that I'm passionate about, where being financially successful and stable is a byproduct of that. What can I do that's something that you enjoy? It might not be your first passion, it might not be your second or third passion, but something that you do that you are good at and enjoy doing, that because of that you can make a living off of that. I feel like that should be your goal. If you focus on just how to make more money, there's plenty of ways to make a lot of money. There are some pretty shitty, and for lack of a better term, shitty ways to make a lot of money, but there are ways to do it. But your goal should be, in my opinion, more what can you do that you enjoy, and then how can you make that profitable?
Right. And it's the top 100 entrepreneurs around the world were interviewed several years ago asking what's the number one tip that you can give. And when you summarize all of their answers, they talk about do what you love, be passionate about yourself, believe in yourself first, others will believe in you, and get your message out there. Because when you do those things, the side effect of money returns. Passion is on the inside of you, money is on the outside, and it's influenced by how you feel. And that the beingness will give you the steps to the doing, to the passion, to everything else. So you're absolutely right in that. Absolutely.
Yeah, money shouldn't be your goal. It should be a like I said, like a byproduct. Your goal should be things that continue to improve your craft and improve what your business is. Those should be your goals. And then the money will come naturally along with those.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Every time.
And then
I think another big thing that I loved everything you said, that entrepreneurs believe in yourself, be determined, study is definitely a big thing. Study your craft and how to get the most out of it. Maybe you are amazing at what you do, but you have no marketing, so nobody knows that you're amazing at what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And those are the action steps, the doing side, putting your message out there. The marketing would be the action step. But how do you know what your message is if you weren't in the being state to put the message out there?
Right. It's, I always say that wealth is what's left after the money is gone. So focus on wealth, focus on what is really going to be fulfilling to your soul. And then that, it will attract the compensation of the money. That's really the mindset. Mandy, you mentioned something about a head injury as a child, and could that be stopping you from being in touch with the universe? Actually, I don't think so. I think that what it does is it may be a little bit different in how you get in touch with the universe than the normal person, which there is no such thing as a normal person.
No,
so it's really about just, recognizing that and looking inward, regardless of what happened earlier. Your brain is so elastic. What it does is you can have these injuries that create challenges, but what your brain does is it reworks all these connections in a different way, which may be super unique to you, which could be super valuable to others. So it's really in looking at what you can get actually out of that traumatic experience as opposed to what it cost you.
Absolutely. We're coming up. We've gone a little bit over today, so I want to make sure that we gave our guests proper time. Dawna, thank you so much for being here today. One thing we like to do at the end of our episodes, we like to give a couple final last words. I know that you do have to get going, so I'm going to say really quick mine, just show you how it's done, and then we'll have you do yours, and then you can go on out of here. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. Great. So I'm going to single myself out really quick. So it has been a very full episode today. Thank you, everybody who watched with us, commented, liked, everything. Who also stuck with us through the time. We did go a little bit over today, but I'm definitely not upset about that in the slightest. Very grateful for everybody who's been on today. Thank you so much to everybody. The final words that I would like to say today, and what I'm really taking from the show, is exactly what we've been talking about. It's figure out who you are and what you want in life. It is determining what your goals are, but then also trying to remember what needs to be a byproduct and what needs to be an actual goal. Like I mentioned before, goals should be things that improve your project, improve your craft, improve the thing that you are passionate in working on. And the byproducts of that will be things like financial stability, wealth in many different forms. It'll be, the fun trips that you get to go on, the experiences, the people that you get to meet. These will all be byproducts of you doing things that ultimately make your business, your craft, whatever it is that you do, better. That's all I have to say for my final words today. Dawna, go ahead. You're going to be up next.
So thank you for having me. This has been truly amazing. And I'm going to share with you a mantra that I wrote that I was given when I was going through all of my difficult, hard times that I share throughout life today. And it's something that I have and I repeat often. And it is trust and you will see, believe and you will know, have faith, all is well. Follow your heart and spirit will lead you. So thank you.
Absolutely
awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being on today. You have a wonderful day, Dawna. And it's an absolute pleasure. We'd love to have you on again and get you some more time on here. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely do that. I'm going to let you go now, and we're going to have Brett say his final words.
All right. Well, yeah, it's interesting. I think I'll just go back to a couple of things said earlier. That is, wealth is what's left after the money is gone. Focus on your wealth. And when I say that, value to yourself can be valuable to others. And what you actually get compensated for is the value you provide. So the things that we tend to provide the greatest value in are those things that we have the most passion about. And if you want to make more, the more passionate you are about things, and as Gavin said, be a student of whatever you are passionate about and learn more about it. And that's going to offer you more information to be valuable to others. And remain congruent. Stay so that your mind, your actions, and your words all are the same. Oftentimes in life, we say one thing, we do another, and we believe a third. And that causes stress in our life, and that makes it very difficult to be wealthy because we're under so much stress. So if you can find a way to build more congruency into your life, you'll find a way to be more wealthy, and that's going to attract more of what you want. Thanks.
Beautifully said. Once again, my name is Gavin Kerr, here with Brett Gordon. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you all again for watching, loving, and supporting us. You have a wonderful day, and please be safe. Take care.
Take care, everybody.